Marcus, how does it feel? I mean, you're through to a final, this time it's at home.
Yeah, I know. Amazing and grateful and still unreal. And the reason why it's unreal is that's what I always hope for, you know, the day I finish here, we'll be in front of our own fans and own field. And yeah, so humbled, and you know, this journey was so special these last few years with a special bunch of men, and they just proved it today. So I just want to thank the players and thank my management and thank the Lord for blessing us through this whole journey. And you know, just amazing. And the supporters today just really lifted the guys. When the tries came, we could feel the energy, and yeah, it was just an amazing day today.
Johan, what was the total turnaround after halftime? I mean, if you said you down and out, you felt like at halftime?
We first of all felt if we can score before halftime, and that happened. You know, that 22-10 sound better than 22-3. And then halftime was quite simple. The forwards I felt was good in the set phase, so we didn't change much there. But on the attack, we kept the same things. We just said we're gonna obviously be a bit more direct. I asked the players to really lift the intensity and to reset the whole score. Forget the score. It's 0-0. Let's just play 40 minutes of good rugby, and whatever happened, we can live with that. And you know, the players really did that. It looked like they put the first half behind them, and they came out and they played some great rugby in the second half.
Johan, was this the best comeback that you've been involved in?
I can't remember, but it's definitely the best feeling I've had in quite a while. To see character come out like that in the second half from a bunch of guys that care for each other. I don't believe I can explain the feeling being on the field and being inspired by your own players like they did today.
Johan, second half there also seemed to be a much greater emphasis on playing territory, that you guys actually kicked behind them, got into the corners, and they didn't seem to handle that so well.
I mean, they did it well. We didn't do it as effective in the first half, but I think that what happened is we first got the reward on the scoreboard, you know. So the guys first created that tries, and then we could have played for that territory. At 22-3, we couldn't really play territory, so we first have to get back to that attacking mindset, and that the guys did. And then eventually when we got 22-all, that's when the territory was starting to get better. But again, Elton, Ross, Andries, Commies, those guys made good decisions. And those two tries in the first half was also, you know, just a pass or a ruck that we actually made it quite soft. So the guys showed a lot of character, like Jaco said, to recover from that setbacks.
That try-7 tackle on Jordy Barrett and the sharp front row try, how important were those two moments in the greater context of the game?
No, it was great, you know. I think I spoke to their coach, and he said to me the same thing now before the interview about him. He said he feels the turning point was that we kept them out with one or two opportunities they had, and the reality is that we scored before halftime, and we upped the intensity in the second half, the physicality and the intensity. But again, you know, I don't want to take anything away from them. They're the defending champions, and they're a quality side, and they can beat the best in the world. Is that Jordy, that Perinara try, and the other one was, you know, our mistakes. So, but that was the first sign for us that the players is not going to give up on today. If they're going to lose, they're going to lose with a big fight.
Jaco, from your side, 22-3 standing under the post, I mean, what's it look like on the field in that moment? Were the guys visibly down? What was the feeling like?
We spoke about it during the week, and we said in a playoff match, if you're behind your poles, the best thing you want to have is to be calm. And I really believe it came through today. Every time we were behind the poles, every player was calm. We got a message from coach or a message from JP or Cash, and we took it in, and we knew the momentum is going to turn in some way. And all credit to the players that just to be calm behind the post, being 22-3 down, is a compliment to all the players.
Because you were a lot of questions about the intensity in the week. You now played the New Zealand team. With next week in mind, what have you learned from today as well?
Brendan, we can just focus on ourselves. You know, we've got a lot of belief, and like I said, the one thing I can ask the players is to go out and to give their best. If they've done that and the side come here and they beat us, then credit to them. You know, we're not gonna. We respect all the sides that come here as even more. You know, when it's playoff time, you have to know that the sides are top quality. So nothing is going to change. You know, the Hurricanes is a good side. One loss doesn't make them a bad side. The same for the Crusaders. They've proven it today again. You know, a full All Black pack almost. All Blacks all over at that line. We have to, you know, be able to repeat a performance like today and be up to have any shot. But you know, the belief is there always, regardless of who we played, Australian sides, New Zealand sides. The belief is and I just, you know that the guys care for each other, and that's the most important thing.
Jaco, there's always so much talk about that altitude factor, but I mean, it was noticeable that today in the last 20-odd minutes they seemed to kind of struggle a bit. Did you guys get that feeling towards the back end of the game where the points started to flow more freely?
Yes, so we always knew it's difficult to come to Emirates Airline Park, especially if you have a long travel like that in a short turnaround. And what the players realize is, even though you're tired yourself and your lungs are burning, you must realize they're struggling more. And to up the intensity is credit to the players, because you have to dig deep. And yeah, both sides are tired. It's just who wants it more. And as I said, the character of the players was just amazing today, because the Hurricanes is a real quality side. We know it. And to come out the second half and perform like that, it's just amazing.
Jaco, in terms of discipline, I saw you and Jaco had a bit of a longish talk in the first half. What did you guys say to each other to turn it around? Because there were no discipline issues, so to speak, in the second.
Yeah, I was just asking him about the offsides rule, and we know the Hurricanes have a good line speed, and I was just asking him to check the offsides, and yeah, he said if there's no ruck, there can't be any offside. So we had to manage that in a sense, and the ruck time. Yes, we didn't secure our own ball at ruck time in the first half, and that really cost us. As coach mentioned, those two tries. With a quality side like the Hurricanes, you can't make simple mistakes like that. You have to secure your own ball and do the small things right. And yes, we had a long chat, and Jaco weren't happy with all the chat he got from the players. So yeah, that comes down to me, and I just kind of asked the players, just calm down, play the game, and leave the ref alone, and just worry about your own job.
Johan, your take on the yellow card and the effect it had on ultimately the outcome of the match, especially given how you guys used that opportunity to score points on the board?
Yeah, well, we saw last week against the Sharks, you know, the impact of a yellow card, both sides, for them and for us. And today we saw it again. It is difficult already playing against those sides, and then you give away a yellow card. I think the Hurricanes experienced that today. You know, again, it was created through pressure from the players, and therefore, you know, the good thing was the players used that opportunity. The reality still stay, you know, that it's not going to get easier. You still have to work hard coming this week. You know that for the yellow card made a big difference, but I still feel that the players' decision-making, calmness, the intensity, all those factors that you have to get. You know, it's not just the yellow card is going to win the match for you, but it's the small little things that the guys did much better in that second half.
Johan, can you compare the Crusaders side that you played here last year to the one you like to next week?
Yeah, well, again, you know, like I said in the week with the rematch between us and the Hurricanes, I said both sides has changed. Both sides has probably developed a bit more in certain areas. They definitely, you know, a quality side. I mean, they also just showed it this whole season. Their background, their history, you know, is all quality. So it's going to boil down to 80 minutes. You know, again, to go back to last year and to refer back to anything is not going to really help us. We have to reset. We haven't really achieved anything yet. We haven't got a trophy or nothing. So the challenge for us is to train well, to obviously enjoy the victory tonight, but to start Monday, refresh, reset, and to know that the other side that's also going to fight till the end, to say, you know, also to get the title.
Johan, just a word on Elton now. He bounced back in big time.
Yeah, luckily it looks like we got a good relationship. Not like Brendan said, we haven't got a relationship, but luckily we've got a good relationship that he can play well for us. But other than that, I'm proud of him. Forwards had a great, platform for him, and again the guys was exceptional, and the guys showed a lot of character. And it's for us to repeat that.
Not me.
Ja, Brendan Venter. Brendan Venter het 'n fout gemaak om hom af te haal laas week.
Just in the first half, things were going so wrong. There's a couple of moments that stood out. One was the steal for your captain that forced the penalty that you eventually got the try from. The other was the two stolen lineouts from front row. I mean, when you were on your try line, those were also huge moments in the game.
Yeah, I've been asked that question. I said, there was some exceptional performance individually, but also crucial moments just to stem the tide a bit. And like you said, that two lineouts on that goal line was quite important. I've got a lot of respect for John Plumtree, and I know he's not always involved with the forwards, but he's definitely got his footprint there. He's got the defence for the Hurricanes, but they're normally a good mauling side. So to take away that opportunities from them was quite crucial, and a great from the effort that Sousa has put into the lineouts the whole week.
Jaco was talking about the line speed. How much can you put that slow start from you guys down to the fact that it's the first time you've played New Zealand competition this season? I mean, does it take a few minutes to get used to that intensity again?
Well, the players will probably give you feedback on how they felt. We felt that towards the end of the first half, they were more tired than us, and that's why I would love to play 1 o'clock, but anyhow, so the reality is they had the line speed, but I think the players were so direct that at some stage they couldn't keep up. They couldn't get off the line because we were into their faces, and the guys did that well, and then the alteration came a little bit in the second half. So again, we can only play what's in front of us. We must be able to adapt, and last year we did it well until the final. We didn't, and obviously there was extreme weather conditions, etc. But it's again, we don't know what we can analyze the Crusaders as much as we want to. We know they're going to be physical. We know they're going to be in our faces defensively. Is for us to have the ability to adapt during the game. If your plan doesn't work, I think we started like a house on fire. Our plan worked perfectly. Jaco will tell you. I'm not going to say what the plan was, but it worked. And then obviously it was those two moments that maybe gave us a body blow, and we had to recover from that tries they scored. But the players showed a lot of composure.
Coach net gewoon Afrikaans en wat het jy vir hulle gesê halftyd?
Nee, daar was 'n baie rustigheid in die halftyd. Jy weet ek dink die 3 voor halftyd het definitief 'n groot bydrae tot dit gehad. Ons het altyd gevoel 22-10 is haalbaar. Die boodskappe was eenvoudig. By die voorspelers het ons gevoel ons is besig met die regte goed, ons moet aanhou. Die algemeen oor die aanval het ons geweet as ons kan aanhou daai muur slaan, ergens gaan die kraak kom, en ons moet net die intensiteit optel en die akkuraatheid, want 2 van die 3 het gekom van bal wat ons net verloor het in kontak. So as ons net dit beperk, as die paas nie anders nie, hou net die bal, die volgende geleentheid gaan kom, en die spelers het dit baie goed gedoen.
Ja, jy het gesê daar was baie inspiration tussen die spelers. Kan jy ons net deur daai vat asseblief?
Ja, ons het altyd soos wat coach al gesê het, ons vir eerstens speel ons for audience of one, en tweedens speel ons we play to inspire, nie net om onsself te inspire nie, maar we play to inspire a nation. En dit het regtig deurgekom in die tweede helfte, glo ek, en al wat ek vir die ouens gevra het in die tweede helfte toe ons uitdraf is geniet net julleself en inspireer net waar julle kan, en die res sal gebeur, want as 'n rugby speler homself nie geniet nie, gaan hy homself nie uitleef nie, en yes, ek glo julle het gesien toe die ouens hulle self begin uitleef en dit begin geniet, en die dinge begin gebeur.
One last question, Hurricanes or
just you mentioned Elton, just Ross Cronje's performance. It seems the Hurricanes really trying to target him around the rucks and that. How important was his composure and good decision making?
Yeah, I mean, Ross is in exceptional form this year, and may it keep on going. His calmness and decision making was quite good. He had a few snipes, and most of all his defense. His defense was good as well. So he had a good all-round performance, and deservedly, I think, for me, he was also my man of the match. So credit to him, it was good.
In die vorige 2 weke het jy gewonder, nou weet jy, hierdie gaan jou laaste week saam met Joes wees. Jy het laas week gesê, jy besluit, hierdie week gaan jy geniet en so. Hoe gaan jy hierdie week laat kom benader?
Maar baie dieselfde, Christo, soos ek begin het deur te sê, weet, dit was altyd my droom en my wens vandat ek die besluit gemaak het, laat ons hierso by die huis speel. En dat ek kan wegstap en 'n vol Ellis Park kan sien, jy weet, dan voel ek kan nie verbeter vra nie. Ek weet die resultaat sal seker die emosies, maar vir my om 60,000 mense hier te sien sal vir my die ultimate wees. Ek het die hele dag wat ek aan die wedstryd gedink het, en ek weet dit is anders vir die spelers, maar vir my elke keer wat ek hulle sterkte toewens vir die game, weet ek die tyd raak al hoe minder, en vir my dit baie spesiaal. En ek dink terug aan 2013, 14, 15 en waar ons nou is, hier nogal baie. En daar's baie mense om vir dankbaar te sê, jy weet, daar's my hele bestuur, elke in die mediese span, die mense agter die skerms, die mense wat die gras sny, weet, die administratiewe personeel, en al hierdie goed is memories wat ek heel dit aan dink, elke keer wat ek hier inry. En dan definitief ek weet, ons is nie heilig nie, maar ons wil die Here eer, jy weet, vir wat hy gedoen het, van 2013 af, daai belofte, en net die pad wat ons hier gestap het, jy weet, en elke speler se bydrae, elke een wat hier gekom het en weggegaan het, so daai emosies gaan baie deur my, en die grootste ding is my familie, die pad saam met my gestap, die hoog en die laagtepunte, en hulle leef hulle emosies in het, en nou het ons nog een wedstryd oor, maar weer eens, ek kan net terugsit en dit inneem en dit waardeer, want dit gaan 'n groot dag, en dit is 'n voorreg om in 'n finaal te speel, nog te meer om by die huis te speel, en ek hoop is 10 jaar later, wat ek die teleurstelling in die finaal ook beleef het as speler, mag ons hierdie keer as oorwinnaars daar staan.